did that, and I made my decision to really get involved in education on a frontline kind of matter. So that's what I do.
Okay.
And I've always, even in professionally, when I was in corporate, I was in financial technology. So
Okay.
technology has always been the foundation of my passions. And so I just did the same in education. So I focus a lot on technology and education.
Okay. Great. No, I think your story, you can always make a change. You can
Yeah,
always make a change. You can find another way to passion, like channel your passions.
yeah, and I think too that the value in it is that we've got to connect with what's consistently giving us joy. So we
Yes.
always, there's no perfect job. There's always one element that if you could, you maybe pluck that thing out. But what are the things that actually light you up inside? And then when you find that, you kind of connect with that regardless of the industry, the place or space. But it's kind of like operating in those gifts so that you know that regardless as to where your feet are planted, you're going to have joy there because you are actually doing those things that fundamentally you appreciate doing.
Yes. No, it's so true. And it's something that, I hope I'm passing that on to my children as
Oh, yeah.
they're starting their paths.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Sometimes we can be, in a room with a lot of people and we can feel, almost invisible because it's like everybody here seems to have that spark or have that flame. And man, I want what they
Yeah.
have. I've got to get what they got. But the truth is that the more we know of ourselves, then the
Hmm.
better we show up, right?
Right.
So as long as I am tapping into, is this exciting for you? Are you learning? Because those are things that I found out about myself that I
Yeah.
actually need.
Yeah.
Even in my advanced stage of learning, I actually do need to continue to receive new information and learn. And when that's no longer present, I feel stagnant. So I think we just
Right.
have to be honest with ourselves about what does work for us. And so I think that's kind of, I guess, bringing us here to Rocky Mount. That's kind of what brought me to this environment of nonprofit work. I mean, that usually is not in the same sentence so much like corporate and nonprofit, but leave it to
Yeah.
me. Like I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna dig in. And so when I was offered this opportunity to come here and my position here at Peacemakers, I'm actually the director of technology, learning, and development. And so I handle
Okay.
that for the nonprofit, right? And so that encompasses a boatload of things. We have a computer lab here where the community is able to come, complete resumes, and do job search and different things like that.
Great.
So we make
Okay.
sure that those resources are available to our community on this nice large campus, large to us. We also have Southside Academy. So I'm
Okay.
fortunate to be one of the board members for Southside Academy. It's a private Christian school that is
Okay.
kindergarten through third grade, serving the South Rocky Mount area. And the thing about it is each year, we're intending to advance another grade level. When we first started, of course, we were kindergarten through second grade. We're now
Okay.
full blown into our next year, and we're moved on up to kindergarten through third grade. And so
Wow.
we intend to grow the school out to eighth grade and really give young people a very solid foundational learning structure and what.
Okay.
So we're excited about having that here on campus. In addition to having Southside Academy, Peacemakers has a kindergarten through fifth grade
Okay.
after school program. And so our after school program is pretty cool though. We provide transportation from the schools. They come here and that's how we kind of consider ourselves able to wrap around the families that need that
Right.
support. Sometimes there are families that grandmom is mom again, right? And so
Yes.
providing that help with the homework and assisting them with even a different voice, explaining some of those things that they learned in school that day in another way that helps it
Yes.
click for them. So, and those are kind of like our ways that we're trying to contribute to closing those gaps that people talk about all the time, the COVID gap, the learning delays, any of those things or fancy titles that we give to it. I just think it's the accountability of partnering together to help young people learn and win. And
Right.
so we do that through our K-5 after school program. And then there is the middle and high school program, which of course is near and dear to my heart. I had the opportunity to kind of seed this concept and build out this infrastructure for our Digital Futures Academy. And our
Okay.
Digital Futures Academy, we take middle and high school scholars and we work
Okay.
with them on teaching them coding, artificial intelligence, and drone piloting skills along with leadership. So none of the
Wow.
things that we do through this program do we even attempt to do without those leadership skills, because soft skills are something that is becoming more and more void as technology turns up. People are
Yeah.
disconnecting from just the smile, the conversation, the relationship, right? So we want to be sure that we are creating a foundation of responsible young people as they get into the workforce and what that means to forge those relationships. So we use things like Minecraft education to assist us with kind of like that game-based learning
Oh
of
yeah.
difficult information. So we start off with block coding. There's two tracks in that system, so they're either on a JavaScript learning path or a Python pathway. We also work with IBM Skills Builder. We use a lot of great programs here because many of these are asynchronous. So it allows us to say, if I've got a scholar over here, they're kind of advanced and they want to move on to another space, I don't need to hold them, back and wait for everyone to kind of get where they are. So it allows us some flexibility with pacing in terms of individual learning needs and things. So that's really, really huge, especially when we talk about maintaining a young person's interest and meeting them where they are. And then, of course, there's drone piloting, which brings us about with Drone Legends. And one of the things that attracted me to Drone Legends as a program is
Hmm.
that, like I said, we deal with middle and high school, right? And so
Right.
I'm thinking, I've talked to some high schoolers, and it would be great if they had had some kind of foundational skilling before they arrived at, hey, I'm 16 now, and I can actually
Okay.
become a licensed drone pilot,
Yeah.
right? So prior to that, how do we spark the interest? How do we get you connected, and really want you to win and learn in this space and even find yourself in this space. And I think that's the thing is middle school, we know that most scholars drop out up here in middle school
Right.
first before they ever approach
Okay.
high school and leave
Okay.
disinterested. They check out mentally in middle school. So we've got to get to them as quickly as possible and help them see themselves in the future. So
Right.
maybe the language is different, but the need is the same. So when I'm
Yeah.
speaking to high schoolers, for example, we're talking about career and technical education, and we're really digging in the crates in that space and teaching them that language and programming them on those pathways. But in middle school, where they still have this element of fun, but they kind of cool, but they don't want you to know it's cool, or
Oh yeah.
they don't want you to see their teeth. Yeah, right at that stage, that's when we have to be certain that we start planting these seeds of interest, basically to make
Yes.
them curious again, but making them feel safe to be curious, right? Where curiosity
Okay.
is kiddish. And so that's why I like the Drone Legends program, because I feel as though the way the curriculum is designed with the graphic novel, these are things that ways in which they're used to seeing text and
Right.
data that also has that touch and feel, because now I can hold something and I can control it and whatnot. And so then I just kind of partnered that with this particular summer program. I decided that, well, some people might look at drones and think, okay, it's static, especially girls, right? They look at me, I like it or I don't, kind of thing.
Right.
I'm thinking, well,
Right.
how can I kind of get in here and gamify this process, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so that's where we gave, kind of giving voice to our tight flight summer program schedule. So I looked at the curriculum and decided that it would be a great idea if we had for the duration of this program is 6 weeks. So let's run a 5 week competition. And we're
Okay.
going to do this competition from now. This was week one. So starting in week one, we'll do a different mission each week. So for context,
Okay.
I only have the scholars on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I have two separate classes for 1 hour. So I've got
Okay.
1 hour to captivate, motivate, and
Yeah.
inspire.
Yes.
Right? So I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this and be certain that you don't break this technology? So then there's that teaching. So, we started off, of course, with just one full day of just safety for both classes. Painful process to them, I'm sure, but they
Yep.
knew it was on the other side, right? I'm the only thing standing between you and this drone, brothers and sisters. So let's pay attention, right? So I had me a captive audience. So that was pretty good. So we made our way
Okay.
through that. And so basically, what we're doing is the scholars are going to be there's, of course, three scholars on each team. And so each team has an opportunity to have successful flights on each mission, and they have my eyes on them to see how they actually execute what the instructions were. So, for
Okay.
example, if this is the day that we are just flying a square around the object, or is this the day where we are now practicing how to yaw? Is this the day? So, whatever the skill is that they were to learn, that is what I'm looking for. And their successful completion of that means they had a tight flight. And so
Gotcha.
everybody is aiming to acquire this tight flight so that they can get another point towards the end goal, which will be announced at our grand finale at the end of the summer session when we close out Freedom School this summer. So they don't know yet what the prize is going to be. I don't know, actually. I'm still trying to figure it out what I would like for them to have. I do know that they don't know, but my plan is to have a first, second, and third place winner. But that first place grand prize is going to go to that one team and
Yep.
all three of that team, those teams members. So whatever it is, the three of them will receive the same prize.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, of course, second and third will also receive something because I know that they're all working hard. I see it. And then there's things like point deductions. These are how you win. We didn't know how you can win points. How can you lose them? I don't
Okay.
like blank sheets of paper. I don't like blank sheets of paper. If I print out this this mission form, this is our mission paper. I shouldn't see any blank spaces. So they already know that if I'm looking at your team and one of your team members has a blank space, they were just like, I'll let y'all fill it out. That's a point deduction because I really want
Gotcha.
to be focused on what we're doing. I'm looking for being kind, being considerate and supportive. So having all of these things, factored in there, here's how you can win. And then here are also opportunities for point deduction. So let's stay out of this zone right here. So this way I have a captive connection with them without even looking at them during that whole hour. So if I'm at the help desk helping this one person, I can hear them over there kind of supporting each other, saying, wait a minute, you don't want a point deduction. You didn't write such and such, or this is missing from the mission form, those types.
Okay. Right. Right. And it's life lessons, and it's attention to details, and holding, your teammates, each other, holding each other accountable and looking out for each other.
Yes. And being supportive, helping one another. I didn't want to create an
Right.
environment where it's like, I just want to be the winner. I want to be I wanted that environment. It's like, you all warm up first. I let them all do a test run, and get comfortable again because I have them Mondays and Wednesdays. And then after our test period, our warm up cycle, so to speak, then they go ahead and each person, I can tell them, you don't qualify if only one person flies. Doesn't work that way.
Right.
The program's
Love
not
it.
designed that way. So
Right.
one flies, the next flies, and out of those three, you have three solid opportunities for three type flight tallies on our board, right? And
Okay.
so that's kind of how it works. And so it seems that they're excited. I see them looking before they go to the Harambe to see, did she put the numbers up yet? Next week, this is what we're going to do, and that type thing. So it's going to be great. We're going to culminate this at the end with an obstacle course race. So that's the determining factor. So let's say
Okay.
everybody had, everybody becomes wonderful by mission 4, and so now all
Right.
of our numbers are even, right? How do we determine who the actual overall winner is because we're going to have an obstacle race, and the team with the best time, the shortest time, and most successful with no errors, that would be our determining factor as to
Okay.
who's first place. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, this is just, you bringing engagement to the next level
So
here.
we're excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freedom
That's,
School is definitely that way.
yeah.
It
No.
brings out, it definitely brings out, I think, the best in us. It challenges us a lot because we have a short window of time to make massive impact. And we do mean massive impact. So we start off in the morning times with Harambe. Followed after that, they go back to their areas in which they are all excited and charged up. But now we do something called Dear Time, which is drop
Okay.
everything and read, right?
Okay.
So DEAR is an acronym. And so that's what it is. Freedom School is a literacy-based program. So we actually do an assessment on all of our scholars when they arrive so that we know where they are in terms of their reading competency and reading levels and strengths. And so we specifically work with them over this summer period to help them show some growth in the various areas in which they're challenged. We do another assessment at the end to determine what that
Okay.
growth has been, and then we share that as well at the Freedom School finale.
Okay. That's wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So Well, you definitely are a legend maker here. And
Aw.
yes, and you really are. And
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad we're able to spotlight you. And I would love, we're really one of what the goals I'm working on is creating a community for legend makers like you. And I mean, we couldn't have picked a better leader right now to be the first one. And
Thank
so, but we're hoping, and if you'd be willing, we have this Facebook group and we're going to be building on that. But if you would be willing, I would love to have you, whether it's a FaceTime live or something like that, just, you know, just this message of empowerment and life lessons and
Oh,
foundation. And
sure.
I would really,
Sure.
I think that would be so helpful to
Okay.
other educators and in different roles.
Mhm.
So I would, if you can keep that in mind, I'm probably going to come out and ask you to
Yeah,
do
well,
that.
let me know in what way it works for you all, and in
Okay.
what way I can support, what Drone Legends is doing, and how you're doing it. I mean, I'm excited about it. I think that there's so many ways. I love the flexibility of it, right? So
Yeah.
it's baked in such a way that you can customize it for what your needs are and how you're trying to reach these young people. And I know for us, our focus here being let's get the work done and let's be intentional about the career path. That is very, very huge for me. So I'm
Yes.
not about, hey, you came and you got a certificate and high five, but I really need to be able to check off some of these boxes of competency and you making this connection to a career path. So we talk about that and we really do a deep
Good.
dive about the positions of the observer. What are you seeing here? And I hold them accountable and then they start doing the same. They mirror me. So I'm like,
Okay.
observe, why did the drone go down? I just really have them, asking these questions. Why did it go down? It just went down. Oh, it doesn't just go down. Let's let's unpack that. Why do you think it
Yeah.
went down? The battery dead. And everybody looks at the observer like, what happened? So when you see that light
Yeah.
flashing,
Right.
this is your job to be vocal and tell them, hey, go back, just down this thing. Let's bring it down. We've got to change this battery. They need your voice, your instructions. So they start seeing themselves as leaders and taking ownership of that role when they actually have it. So it's pretty cool to see them in this short amount of time really making these connections. So it is really my hope that at some point they'll come back around, whether it'll be next school term because Digital Features Academy and maybe they want to enroll and they have
Right.
some real questions and say, hey, Coach Chambers, a lot of them refer to me as Coach Chambers because I do a lot of technology coaching competitions. And so
Okay.
it depends on how they know me. I'm either Miss Chambers or Coach Chambers, but same
Okay.
Chambers, different day. I've got a Girls Who Game program here. So we compete twice a year using Minecraft and things. And I'm one of the what do you call that? The task force with Epic Games. So there's a lot that
Okay.
happens with me and the scholars throughout the year. So I'm just hopeful that whatever small part I can play in them just seeing that there's a connectivity beyond the couch to the technology you touch daily. If I can help them change the conversation around I call it the digital dining table, right? That
Right.
says, listen, technology is not the enemy.
No.
Technology is not the enemy. If we can get in this conversation as early and as responsible as possible, we can give voice to creative development and responsible development and use of technology.
Right. Wow. What a message there. So thank you. You've
You
put
are
a
so
lot of,
welcome. So let me
thank
know
you.
if there's anything else you need from me.
Okay. I will definitely. And thank you.